So the first project up is Robby. This project was for an embedded systems class, which is learning how to use a microcontroller to control all of our little devices and doohickeys. And a microcontroller is just basically a small computer. And we had a bunch of projects throughout the class, and this was our final project. For this class, we had to buy a kit with all these different parts in it, but the parts that we used for Robby were a sonar on the front and back for detection of objects to make sure that we could drive forward and backwards, a speaker for noise notification so we could play out a noise if we got too close to an object, LEDs for warnings or all clears, so if it's green on the front if we could drive, and red in the back if we couldn't drive. We put a camera on the front because we wanted to see what Robby sees, so we also used a different type of controller called a Raspberry Pi so we could live stream the camera through a web server. We used a Bluetooth module which allowed us to control Robby from our cell phones. We had 4 different motors to control all 4 wheels. And here we have a battery pack because we were trying to add way too many things to Robby that we could not power with just our one battery. So we ended up having this battery pack added. And the brain of it all was the Mbed microcontroller. That is the device where we uploaded all of our code so that we could talk to all of our different components on the robot. And of course, it's not a school project if there aren't wires everywhere. We had to test everything individually. So here we have the motors. He has everything set up on his breadboard, which is that white thing in the background that everything is connected to. And then he had the microcontroller, which was the Mbed that we used to control everything, all the power, the Bluetooth module, and the motors themselves. He got the code up there, and then he's just testing all of the different controls that we had. Up, left, right, down, and the turbo function, which we added, and some braking stuff so we could brake really fast so we didn't run into anything. Then of course we had to test it all again with the actual robot and everything connected to all the components, all the power. There's the H-bridge again, the Mbed controller, the Bluetooth module, and he's running some tests to make sure that we can drive. And then we did some testing with Robby's camera, and we can see what he sees sitting on the floor there. We're looking at the dresser and the floor. Then there was more testing with the controls that we had to do before we did the final demo for the class.